I met a dude one time. Uh, I didn't know God yet. I'm doing hoop and doing my thing. So like a lot of you basketball dudes, Coach Floyd, this. I can talk religion well because I got to recruit a guy in Harlem so I can speak Jesus to his grandma, right? Because I want to get the dude, right? I know it was a fake. Like, I knew that. I just could get dudes, right? So anyways, long story short, I meet this dude, and he's like a really polished dude. And I like him. And I something about him attracted me, right? I'm like 48 years old at the time. So I want to know, he's kind of a nice business guy. He's got a nice car. He seems like life is sorted. So I finally get enough courage to say to him, what do you do, man? What do you do? I want to kind of know, what do you do? And he says, oh, I help people turn from their idols. So I'm thinking, oh man, he's a missionary. Oh man, I don't know, he goes, I go, so I ask, but I want to be polite. Well, what do you mean? Oh yeah, I just help people disconnect from their idols, their idol worship. Oh, okay, past the lasagna we eat, we kind of do our thing, that's about it, right? I ain't going anywhere past that, right? Anyways, I meet a couple dudes that know the guy, and the guys start talking. He's a big executive in the TV industry. Like, what? So I get to know the guy a little more, and I said, I was kind of, maybe guys are saying you do TV. I thought you did the thing with the idols. He goes, oh yeah, that's what I do. I'm like the executive at so-and-so. My department we're the department, I get to manage part of my department, is that we call guys up that are late on their television, paying their bill, their cable bill, the $65 a month or $80, and we tell them we're going to turn it off. We're going to pull the plug. I said, well, it's a pretty good gig. He goes, are you kidding me? You have any idea what it's like when you tell someone you're going to take their idol away? You have any idea what that looks like, mate? I was thinking of my own idols at the time, right? I'm like, oh, probably not so good. But this is their addiction. This is their addiction. This is their idol. And I have to call them. And then you think it ends when you pull it out, you turn it off? You don't think they call you then or show up to your office? They go crazy. Threaten you over the $65 cable bill that they haven't paid in the last, 18 months. Nutso. Kind of ties into my story of the Bible verse today is going to be in John, and it says, little children. It's one verse. I was going over it with you guys. 1 John 5, going over it, trying to do this big lesson. Yesterday, going to go over this 1 John thing. I really want to do a good job about the Lord and how much He loves you. And then I meet the cat last night, changed everything. Changed everything. And the last verse says, little children, keep yourselves from idols. Now I'm not here to lecture you cats. But I am here to give it to you straight. So, the guy talking about idols. Guys, in my next story. You guys, I was kind of a chess fan back in the day. And you guys know who Bobby Fischer is? Remember Bobby Fischer? You can Google Bobby. He was like the greatest chess player in the world. Cliff Note version is, he won the world championship at 15 years old. The national champ at 15 years old. And then in 72, he won the world championship. And, then after that, he intrigued people. He's a genius, and he beat Boris Spassky or something in Russia in the whole bid in 72. And so he comes back home, and, it was kind of the U.S.-Russia relationship was a little tension at the time, and he beats the Russian grandmaster, and he's a famous guy, and they want to interview him and all that. And one of the interviews, they said, hey, when did you start really getting into this? And the guys will say it became his idol his whole life. 7 years old. At 7 years old, I put everything else away, and all I did was chess. That's what I did. 7 years old. And then after he won the world championship, he vanished. Right? About 73, he went off the radar, went off the grid, right? Just boom. Man, I thought, wow, unbelievable. 7 years old. And they were messing around with his idol, so he decided to just move out. I want to kind of tie it into the story of yesterday and this thing what John says about idols. And I always got two groups of guys here. And I know I'm talking to. Like, I get it. I got guys here, big resumes, super successful in their lane. I understand my audience here. All right? I'm not naive. You guys are super accomplished dudes. Okay. Last night, a about idols and everything, I was thinking about, not me per se. It's like, what does God mean by the idol thing? It's like anything in our lives that go before the Lord, that come before the Lord. Now, I got my own stuff, and you guys know my testimony, you know what it was. But at the end of the day, it was me. My idol was me. I might have played out a different thing, and I know some of you cats are, you got, dope habits, or you chasing skirt, whatever you're doing still. That's just an outcome of the habit of self-idol worship, and the idol worship we worship is me, a self. I get it. I'm not mad, I'm just what it is. Okay. So last night, the other guy's talking to me, and I was thinking about Trace Ritter's thing, and I was like, I had an opportunity there. I wasn't prepared for that opportunity. Usually I want to have something with me, some flyers, invite a guy, and I just want to be prepared to tell someone how much the Lord does love them, and they can invite them to the men's group. That's kind of what my thing is. And I know a lot of you gears got kids, grandbabies, and great-grandbabies, and we got to be prepared for that, even if you don't know the Lord yet, because you know what life's like when you put self before the Lord. It never ends well. And we got men in this group that do a great job of, they've turned from idols. They do not love this world. They love God, and everything they do is lined up around that. We have some guys in this room, right? So my first message today is we want to turn from idols. And that idol usually is self. The idol is usually self. And we want to prepare ourselves better for when we go out there, when we meet others who are lost or hurting, to be able to come around them, invite them to the donut group, take them for coffee, have a little Bible, whatever it is, or connect with people. And I wasn't as prepared I should have been last night. So I just want to encourage you as we move forward this year is let's as a group, let's really work on turning from self, turning from the idols, and then also being prepared. Do we meet other men out there that are struggling or hurting or whatever it is, that we can invite guys here or coffee or whatever. Just do a really great job with that. Okay. The next one as we start the year, and this is what Farmer said, I'm always going to hit on this, is that, I realize there's another group of guys in this room that do not know about the great love of God. I get it. I totally get it. And talking to the guy last night, he went through a lot of church hurt and all that stuff. And a lot of you guys have too. You've been spiritually raped by the church. You've been emotionally raped by a pastor, false gospels, cults, and you name it. I get it. Religion has maybe harmed you, right? Well, I'm here to tell you the good news. If you want to know God, it's really simple. You can go tonight. And I always use the thief and the cross. Some of you guys know it's my favorite story. Go tonight and go alone and ask to know him. And you will know him. I can't, quote, save you, what they say in the Christianized world. I can't help you with that. Your minister, he's a good dude. He can't help you. Walking the aisle, saying the sinner's prayer, signing up on an Awana certificate, can't help you. Accepting Jesus as your Savior can't help you. All false conversions, fellas. But here's the good news. Go alone tonight. The Bible tells us. And you ask to know the Lord. He is right there. And he loves you. And he's in the pit with you. And he tells us, one comes to ask to know me. Even the angels in heaven will be rejoicing. So tonight is your night. Now, you might not be, quote, saved tonight or whatever the Christianized term they use is. That's between God and you. He'll work that out, and he's going to work it out in his time frame. But he tells us, I'm right there. I want a relationship with you. And he says, come to me direct. I hope you guys have a great coffee, time. That's kind of the end of the message. I just wanted to help those two things out. Be prepared and go direct, because God is right there. And he loves you, and he loves men, and he wants a relationship with you. And you don't have to go and try to be a good dude. Because in this group, we ain't good dudes. We're lost as hell. We know that. That's why the group works. We don't have to pretend in here. And we want to know Lord. We want to know the Lord. And we have to understand He is holy and He is so loving. And He wants to know us. And He wants to know you personally. But just go direct. And again, tonight's the night that even the angels of heaven will be celebrating for you.
Hey, I just want to invite everybody down to Scouts on Friday morning at 8 o'clock to fellowship with guys, to enjoy some donuts and a fun time, but also to get to know the Lord and to know that He loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. So invite friends and come on down. Thanks.
You know, this men's group is awesome. Steve is awesome. He's a coach. But I mean, you know, Steve has a cutting word that is really, really good for men. It's a good outreach, and it's full of the love of the Lord. And that's the most important thing. He loves Jesus. He exalts Jesus. And the wisdom of the Lord comes out here. And it's a great place to network and great people that love Jesus. So it's a good place to be.
No, I don't think that any of us are here by accident, and we're led here for different reasons. And I think that it is just a matter of opening your heart and listening to what God has to say, and you will be moved and take it from there, and then go to the Lord on your own.